if I think this way,
Right.
if I am this way,
Right.
and you don't do what I do, there got to be something wrong with you because I know ain't nothing wrong with me.
Right.
And if there, and I'm too afraid to look at myself as being wrong because if I start to look inward, I'm not gonna know whether or not if I'm right.
We as black people, this is one thing when it comes to God. We love to use the word forgiveness. Okay, when we use the word forgiveness, usually it means just let it go, it doesn't matter. That's what it really means. That's what the word
Mm-hmm.
to them really means. But
Mm-hmm.
I can apply that in my life. If somebody does me and treats me wrong, I can't just say, "Oh, just let it go."
Like shout out to Dr.
It'll
Kaba,
be a good
Dr. Kaba,
ass.
Hiawatha Kaba.
I can
Shout out to
already
bro.
see this gonna be a
He
good.
said, no, but bro, he said something that's some real shit. He said, look, there's a very simple difference between religious people and spiritual people. Okay, he said religious people are waiting to die to go to heaven.
Mm.
Spiritual people want to build heaven on earth, and he's right.
Tying it into religious beliefs, how you think it ties in so we can get on that?
Tying into religious beliefs, that's a good point. Um, well, I think people use their limited perception of religion, God, to give you a boundary about how God should be seen,
Mm.
how religion should be used, how the one or the true way that things should be understood. And I think that they don't realize how much of a disservice they're doing to God by having that narrow-minded religious perception.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I love it. It's dope how you said it. I think we both agree on the same thing. Just the way you break it down. This shit's so dope. So
Mhm. No, because bro, I'm telling you, bro, a lot of people have. Okay, so whether or not people believe in God or not, that's their business.
right,
But
right,
I myself, I have an understanding of God, I have an understanding of how God created the universe, et cetera, et cetera. I truly understand, or I truly believe, and know, I guess to some extent, that the consciousness, the being that we call God, the real one, not what we just hear about in religious concepts and
right.
what people say, but like the actual being that God is infinite. So the thing about religion is that religion, what it does is it puts God into a human conception or a human box. Let's make it simple.
I know.
Religion puts no, yeah, yeah, I know you know, but I want to make sure the listeners know.
Right,
P- Religion puts God into a human
right.
box, a box that humans can understand, and based on that box, people are now judging whether or not you understand the parameters of this box. People are judging whether or not you agree with the parameters of this box, not realizing that that box only serves and suits their perception of God and not God.
Mm,
You understand what I'm saying? And I think,
yeah.
I think the boundary about that is people are putting so much limitation there that not only do they not see the truth, they're mad at you for not believing their lie or their limitation.
Oh, that was good. God damn it, man. Damn it.
Human beings are mad because you do not believe and agree with their limitation.
Hello, that. Ooh, let's have church.
It's fact. That's what religious arguments is about. That's what the religious boundaries are about. Like when you don't agree with they box, the box that they've built their own understanding of God in. It's like, okay, God is this. And it's like, nah, God ain't that.
Right, right. And
You a heretic. You want hell. You like,
and my whole thing is, you're only basing this on what you
Mm-hmm.
have been raised to believe. That
Yeah.
let's go deeper. You're only
Mm-hmm.
basing this idea on what you've been raised to believe. It doesn't matter how big
Mm-hmm.
you make it, how big you become, because I guarantee what you're saying out your mouth, you're
Right.
not saying an Indian belief about God. You're not saying the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
If you was raised in a Christian household, whatever, you're only gonna base that Christian belief on what you was raised in since six. So you didn't even travel the world and say, well, what does the Indian God say? What does the
Mm-hmm.
Mormon God say in Utah? What does the Buddhist God say? You're only basing
Mm-hmm.
that, like if God said, you know, men and women being a homosexual is wrong. Let's just say this is wrong. Well, where did you get the
Mm-hmm.
concept that that is wrong? What does it mean for
Right.
it to be wrong? What do you do if it's wrong? Okay, it's wrong. Now what? Does it mean you kill all
Right.
homosexuals? Like, what does that mean? You see, because it
Mm-hmm.
means something to you. You're just
Yeah.
not saying it. So now,
Mm-hmm.
like, this is what I'm talking about. So now the boundaries with this is, and I've learned this, is people don't even understand. You're saying something without saying it.
Mm-hmm.
This is mine. This is no, it's not yours. Because if it's yours,
Mm-hmm.
you got it from somewhere. Where did it
Yeah.
come from? If
Mm-hmm.
your quote unquote pastor or pope or whoever told you that what you said was wrong, would you stop believing it? That means it was never your belief from the jump.
Bro, so here's the thing. A lot of people
Don't drink,
use
don't drink the alcohol because the alcohol is not of God. How did you even? What are you
yeah.
talking about? Huh?
Look, bro, but peep this though. Peep this though, Shano, bro. Some people some people use religious beliefs to cover up the fact that they don't want to think.
Mm.
Thinking think like
Say that shit
like
again.
I
Say
remember
it again. Say it again. Say it again.
some, some people use their religious beliefs to cover up the fact that they do not think, bro.
What?
They don't.
What? Yes.
And it's crazy because like I remember a couple years ago, all right, I was watching or I was listening to something or watching them, I can't remember. And like I think they were in science class, right? And one of the boys said because Adam took a rib out, well, God took the rib out of Adam and then he made Eve. All men have one less rib than women do.
Yeah.
And the scientist said, "Huh?" Like he was confused. He was like, "Wait, what?" Like because of that, that's the reason why. And then I think he had them literally in class. Like he said, "All right, everybody, I want you to set your size and actually count your ribs. Count how much you got." And I can't remember. It might be 8, might be 6, whatever it is. 3 on each side, 4 on each side, whatever it is. And everybody did that, and they were like, "That's not even a scientific fact." But because people aren't willing to test theory, because people are not willing to understand themselves, that's the biggest thing. Some people literally will read the Bible, will read the Quran, will read a holy text,
Yeah.
right? And while there's wisdom in all three of them,
Yeah.
right? Hell, even the Bible says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge."
Well, like a dollars, right?
You understand what I'm saying?
You're right.
So,
You're
so
taught.
when you
Good.
good.
But
Oh, okay. Well, so one of the things too is let's even take it a step further.
mm,
Let's take it a step further. Everybody is so concerned with the concept of belief.
mm,
But one of the principles, hold up now, one of the principles of what God is, right? People say God is all knowing,
mm, all out.
he's seeing all this, all
Right.
that, right? If God is all knowing and you as a believer have no knowledge, you can't be of God.
Ooh.
If all you do is believe
This.
and you never really try to know,
Goddamn.
you never really try to become, you never try to actually gain wisdom, you can't be of God.
Right. And the crazy part that you're saying that it's like here's another aspect. Let's go deeper. If
Mm-hmm.
God is what you think it is,
Mm-hmm.
and God is all knowing or whatever you want to call it, You
Mm-hmm.
have to evolve in the all knowing. If you're a reflection, think about it. If you're a reflection
If
of
you're a
this
reflection
God
of
light,
image.
you have to evolve with it. So you can't stay the same and then tell me and that's one of the things I noticed when I was in religion. Okay, you say you're a
Mm-hmm.
reflection of this, but then you're not growing to anything else other than that. That's not a reflection of the thing. That's like saying me going in the mirror and I have a scar on my face, but I don't see the scar. That wouldn't make no sense. And this is what I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about. You're telling me a thing. It sounds great in theory, but when we're
Right.
applying it to the real actual thing, it's just like the idea of forgiveness. This is one of the things I get on. We as black people, this is one thing when it comes to God. We love to use the word forgiveness. Okay, when we use the
Mm-hmm.
word forgiveness, usually it means just let it go, it doesn't matter. That's what it really means. That's what the word
Mm-hmm.
to them really means. But
Mm-hmm.
I can apply that in my life. If somebody does me and treats me wrong, I can't just say, "Oh, just let it go." I have to address the situation
Mm-hmm.
at hand. There's no forgive me
Yeah.
and just let it go. Otherwise, the situation won't keep going on. And this is what I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about. You're telling me these
Yeah.
things. Wow, in amazement,
Mm-hmm.
in theory, but in a real life, actual practical situation. And that goes back to the idea of God. It's like this God thing. It's your idea of God because you've been
Mm-hmm.
taught if God is what you think it is. Here's my issue with God, the idea of God, and I think there is an intelligent being. I don't believe his name is God because
Mm-hmm.
if it is named as God, why do we have so much confusion around it? That's my first problem. Why, if this word
Mm-hmm.
God is just a word, why would we have
Mm-hmm.
so much confusion around it? So that's already a problem within itself. This person says God says you should have sex before marriage. This person says God you should you should have no you shouldn't have sex before marriage. This person says you should have sex with other. Where am I going? I can't do all three. So that's the first problem. Number two, God says this to this person that where am I going? And I just think that is the problem within itself. That you have too many
Mm-hmm.
people who say a thing about a thing, and the reality is it's not even meant to be understood. You'll just understand it yourself. You'll just
Mm-hmm.
understand what it is yourself. And it's not meant to be
Yeah.
grabbed. It's like trying to grab air. I always use the analogy. It's like trying to grab air. You can never do it.
Yeah.
I don't care how much you read about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I do this and read this and read the sign, you just won't do it. If I do this, then I'll beat death. You just won't beat death. You are going to die. That's you just gotta accept it. That's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't care how
Yeah.
much you try to fight it, you just can't do it. And I feel like
Right.
that's the biggest issue.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the
Facts.
biggest
No.
issue behind
Facts.
anything, bro.
Facts.
Real shit. Like, oh, Terrell won't die on me. He's going to die.
Right.
It's not, I can't, it doesn't matter how much I care for him not to die, he's going to die. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, and I feel like that's our biggest issue as humans, is we can't
Mm-hmm.
accept what is. It's like we have this
Right.
hard thing. I need it to be this thing. You won't.
Yeah. Yeah. And you speaking, bro. You're speaking, bro. Bro. So let's kind of dive into that for a second
Right.
because because there's a difference between like the thing you just said. There's the conception, that box of God that people. I think this is the one of the the reasons religion is allowed to exist is because human beings have an attachment, a psychological attachment to certain ideas.
Right.
Death, um, the need for um, a higher power's approval, the need for things that don't seem to make quite logical sense
Mm.
to have some mystical component and there being an author to that. So like God has to be the missing piece in that, which is I get that. I understand that, like, okay, I get it. I'm not against them in that. But the thing that bothers people the most, I think, is that when when their feelings are involved,
Mm.
and there's nothing wrong with feeling, but when their feelings are involved and they can't get out of it, they use the concept, the box that they situate God in, to be the solver of the problem that God
No,
created them to solve.
repeat that shit. I just caught on to that. Repeat that shit. The concept of box. I was not even thinking about that. That's a
Yeah.
question. Go ahead, don't say that again. God damn it.
People, because human beings have a psychological need that
Mm.
they themselves feel like they either can't meet, it's too hard, death, um, things that seem serendipitous. They use God as that middleman, right? God is the thing that is going to save them from eternal damnation. So let's use death and hell and heaven as an example,
Go ahead.
right? Now, I have no problem with heaven and hell. I don't know that they do or don't exist. I believe that something does exist after we die, right? But I don't know. I'm not 100% sure,
Right, right.
right? However, you know what we do know is that people created the concept. Human beings came up with the concept of heaven and hell, right? In their own understandings of life, karma, whatever, right? And they say some people, like black people in particular, would say, I might have to suffer in this life. I might have to endure racism. I might have to endure this. I might have to endure that. I might be poor, but you know what? When I get to heaven, right, I'm gonna be okay.
Right.
But the reason that they're actually here right now on Earth is to create heaven on Earth. They literally, they're not living up to the fullness of their potential because they believe in this concept, in this box, that if I just do okay enough, if I believe enough, if I do what this religion tells me to do, that I'll get to this place after I die. And God did not create you. God did not create you with the intention of you just going there after you die. You were made to literally create the thing that you were supposed to get after you die here on earth. That is the point of it.
God damn it.
That's the point of it.
Damn it. This is crazy. This. Mm.
That's it, bro. Spirit, like shout out to Dr. Kaba,
Good
Dr. Kaba, Hiawatha
I
Combination,
can
my
already
brother.
see this gonna be a
He
great.
said, no, but bro, he said something that's some real shit. He said, look, there's a very simple difference between religious people and spiritual people. Okay, he said religious people are waiting to die to go to heaven.
Mm.
Spiritual people want to build heaven on earth, and he's right. He's completely right.
Yo, what the fuck?
Some
Man?
some people are literally waiting on the box that religion has made for them
Right,
to solve a problem that they were sent here to solve.
right, and
That's not how it works.
this goes back to boundaries. I'm glad. See, this is why I tied it all together. I do this conversation would just flow. See, we didn't have to put a question up. I
We
just,
didn't have to.
I just think it all ties in together because I know when
Mm-hmm.
I left religion, and it's crazy to sound, I would have not met. I can't say I would have not met. I would have not kept you in my life if it wasn't for religion.
Mm-hmm.
That's not being
Mm.
facetious. That's not being that. That's being realistic. Because
Yeah.
the idea is Terrell is not meeting up to this idea of whatever I have been taught God is.
Right.
And the reality is he was never supposed to be put in a box. It's crazy not what you said, right? It's crazy, right? And so when you leave all that shit, you realize how much you have been so taught is bullshit, right? The
Mm.
relationship I have today, that would have been in a box. Well, it can't be because of this or this. She's the age or the this. It's just like the reality is I don't have to be nothing. It just is what it is, right?
This is what it is.
The relationship is what it is, what I want it to be, what I want to create. My happiness is mine. Rich was the acronym of rich, realizing I create my own happiness, right? So
Right.
if we have been so sold this idea, which is poor, passing over opportunities repeatedly. How do we do that? Through these belief systems,
Right.
through not putting up boundaries, going back to what we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Mm-hmm.
spend so much time trying to do what someone taught us to do. I can't I
Yep.
can't watch porn because I'm going to quote unquote going to hell. So you spend so much time suppressing your sexual feelings. Not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just making a point.
Hmm.
Versus
Yeah.
saying, I'm okay with who I am sexually. If I choose to do X, Y, and Z, I'm more comfortable. If I choose to
Hmm.
want to have sex or whatever the thing is, I want to make money. Whatever the thing is. And I noticed
Hmm.
that the more I left that world,
Yeah.
I can do this. I was having a conversation with a guy one time. His name was Eugene. I never forgot him. And we were having this conversation. He said, religion is he's like, it's like someone telling you not to cross a line, but the line was never there. I was like, God damn it. Just like that. He said it just like that too. I was like,
Mhm.
whoa, hold up. My brain like
That's
exploded when
that's
he
a
said
bar.
it. I was like, wow, I never thought about that. That is
Hmm.
wow. It's like he
And
said it. It's like the moment he said it, bro, my brain just said, I was like,
right.
what the fuck,
Right.
man? Because I
Right.
never
Right.
thought about that shit, dog. Like, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wow. He is so,
Mm-hmm.
it was like, he is so on point. He
It's
said,
fact. Hey, and you know what's crazy as I'm thinking about it? That makes so much sense. But as I'm thinking about it, I think I was talking to my homegirl last week about it on the pod, bro. But so the thing about okay, so let me clarify my point or get my thoughts together before I
you
talk,
talk,
and I don't want to miss
we
it.
up
So I
here,
gotta
we
get it
up
right.
here, we up here. You can say anything to me, you go,
No, you good. So the thing that I've realized is that when somebody is a believer of something but they don't know it, they're they lack the ability to see outside of the box, right? That let's go back to that box. When you believe you are in a box,
mm,
right?
mm.
Right? To his point, to your friend's point. When you know, you realize the box does not exist.
Ooh.
Right? So but now stick with me now.
Go ahead,
The,
keep
the
going.
thing the thing about
Ooh.
the thing about believing in this box is that this box cripples you.
Yeah.
It cripples
Yep.
because now there's not. Let me. I also want to be fair enough to say that I understand that some people need the
You
box.
need the pop.
Some people, some people need to operate within this box because there's safety within this four walls.
Yeah.
Okay, there's safety there. However, because the box is only so big, they can't really ever get to. They can't. They're never really gonna fully meet the fullness of what they can be, right? The problem with being a believer is that you're not a becomer. Let me say it that way. You heard what I said?
I'm listening.
The problem with being a believer is that you are not a person who is in the process of becoming,
Mm,
right?
that,
If you believe in God, family, if you believe in God, you are not taking steps toward becoming godlike.
oh,
You are always you're keeping a distance. You're keeping a separation between yourself and God,
what the
and that's not the point.
what the fuck, man? Like this I knew this kind of
That is not the point.
damn, dog. And it's like, the more
That's not the
I
point.
step away and I realize how long, because it's been 10 years since I've stepped away. Step.
Mm-hmm.
I was in that world for 6 years, 6 years old to 30 years old, and I did this myself. I
Mm-hmm.
deconverted, and not to knock anybody who does, but I learned all this from leaving. The
Mm.
leaving and what it meant to leave. Thinking that I had to be a part of something or be in some world because I've been trained, or thinking I have to be a part of this thing. And it's like, the reality is I never had to. The reality is I
Mm-hmm.
never had to. But you're so conditioned you have to. If you don't, then the this to
Mm-hmm.
this, or the this to that, and this the world. And it's like, no, it's not necessarily the
Mm-hmm.
case. And so
Yeah.
until you step away from all that, you don't even realize what you're even being taught. It doesn't matter what it is, no matter how you suit it. Does it, just like I was
Mm-hmm.
talking about, who, like both names. I'm not gonna say it on the podcast, but that's how I look at them. Any big
Mm.
name person who says a thing, it's the same thing. You're saying a thing, and because you say it, I'm supposed to do it. Based off what? Based off what? I'm supposed to do the
Yeah.
thing because you said it. Wow. So because you said it, I'm supposed to do it. So I'm supposed to put my life on pause, stop it, and then go. No,
Mm-hmm.
that's not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily the case. And this goes back to
Yeah.
why I believe we have such good discussions, because we have a mutual understanding on that. It's
Right.
you have to do this thing. If you don't, then the world's gonna end type bullshit. It's like, no, man. That's not
Mm-hmm.
man. That's just what we've
That's
been
fine.
so,
That's
like the
fine.
box, like you said, the box. And
Mm-hmm.
we have been so trained in all facets that this is what we need to do. And this is why so
Mm-hmm.
many people who do not live in the box have the hardest time. That's why. Bruce Lee had a hard
Yeah.
time, man. People don't understand. Bruce Lee wasn't necessarily known for his martial arts. He was known for his philosophy. That's what he had a hard
Right.
time getting out, was
Mm-hmm.
his thoughts, and because they didn't want him, because he didn't live in a box. He really lived like that. He really lived like that.
Yeah.
What he said,
Yeah.
he lived. And they had a hard time. Well, if you say it like this, that's not what I want. Well, if you got, that's not what I want. Why do you have a problem with what I want?
Mm-hmm.
The fuck, man.
Because it doesn't go along with
Right. It
tradition.
doesn't go
It doesn't
along
go
with
along with
my,
culture. Whatever the reason is, they got a reason.
right. No reason. You're mad with me because
Mm-hmm.
I just want to help these people learn martial arts. Well, you can't do that. Why not? Why not? Why can't they learn martial arts? What's wrong with that? Well, it has to be the why. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like that type of idea. Well, I just want to
Yeah.
spoken word
Yeah.
and help these people. Why you want to help these people do so? Because I want to help them, you stupid motherfucker. Like, what did you talk? What you
Yeah.
want me to be loud and scream? Like, child. And that's, we're talking about when we get the boundaries. All of a sudden, I want to do this thing because this is the way I see the world. And, oh my gosh, because it doesn't fit the box. Doesn't fit the box of what
Yeah.
I said to you or whatever. It's like, child, and I was talking to my homeboy about that, like with relationships, and I was telling him about you, and shout out to you. And I was like, I have a homeboy. Shout out to him and his relationship. That's how they handle their relationship. I respect that. That doesn't mean I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to do a relationship like that. That just means
Mm.
that that's how they do it. And I honor and
Right.
respect that. And I feel like that's the problem with our society. Well, because it's like this with me, it gotta be. No, the fuck it doesn't. Just accept people for who they are and be okay, man. Just be okay. Like,
Right.
why it
Right.
gotta be what you wanted to be in your head? And come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid. It's just
Facts.
stupid, dog. It's just fucking stupid. That's how I see
And
it.
it is. It is, but I think that it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It goes back to the scarcity.
Right.
See, what I'm realizing, bro, about human psychology, bro, is that the reason why people have a problem with like accepting differences in people is because they want to see themselves as normal.
Mm,
Anything outside of my scope of what I do has to be wrong.
right.
And if it's wrong, I can't accept it. Does that make sense?
So,
Okay, if I operate this way, if I think this way,
right,
if I if I am this way,
right,
and you don't do what I do, there got to be something wrong with you because I know ain't nothing wrong with me.
right.
And
Ooh,
if there, and I'm too afraid to look at myself as being wrong because if I start to look inward, I'm not gonna know whether or not if I'm right.
ooh, that's good.
So I'd rather believe than to think.
Ooh, I like that.
I'd rather believe all the things that I am as opposed to think about all the things I'm not.
God damn it, man. What the fuck, man? Yeah.
I know these little things, these little ideas of myself, these 4 or 5 ideas I got of myself. I'm this, I'm black, I'm blah blah blah, I'm whatever. These things I can hold on to, but after that, if I keep digging, I don't know. I don't really know. I have nothing to stand on,
Right, right,
and if I don't have nothing to stand on, I'm not trying to find reasons to stand. Like I'm gonna be afraid because I'm gonna realize how weak my position is.
right. Ooh, that's a good.
It's a fear.
That's a good.
It's a fear,
The
bro.
fear.
And as I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Right,
That makes sense.
right. And it's a fear that
It's it.
most people are afraid to let go. See, there goes.
Mm-hmm.
So most people are afraid to, it's just like the idea of, honestly, I think that happens with us as being black. We can't let
Mm-hmm.
go of the idea of what happened to us. I think it's like two parts to it, and it's like what happened. Yes, it did. And I'm not knocking that, but it being
Right.
angry is not going to change the history of what happened to us. There's nothing you can do
Right.
to change what happened. Nothing. You get mad, you get angry. Okay. So what you gonna do? You gonna piss off the world and change what they did? Okay, and so you gonna be spending 100 years being mad? Okay, it's not
Mm-hmm.
gonna change it. You gotta live your life. I don't live my life like that anymore. I live my life. Okay, I'm okay with who I am, and if a person
Mm-hmm.
doesn't accept me, okay, because ultimately it's
Right.
not a thing I can change. And this goes back to what we're speaking about. Like once you reach a certain
Talk
level,
about it.
certain shit that's just like it doesn't need, it's irrelevant. It's fucking irrelevant. It's irrelevant to
Mm-hmm.
my peace of mind. It's relevant to me as an
Mm-hmm.
individual. It's relevant to where I'm going. What why okay, what are we gonna accomplish by doing this? What am I gonna accomplish? Nothing. And so
Mm-hmm.
this goes we have to reach that space where we're like, okay, um, especially with the God idea, think like
Mm.
I look at it like you have to define that for yourself. And if
You do.
you don't believe an idea, cool. If you do, you do. And leave it there. And I think that's the biggest issue. I don't have to believe in this quote unquote. I just believe it is what it is. There's an intelligent being outside of our being, and it created us,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. No more, no less. No, I read a book to find this out, and oh my gosh, no. There's no reason they can create stars and moons. Nothing. It's no scientist. I've heard atheists say, "Oh yeah, but how do you prove it?" You don't have to prove it. It just is what it is. I'm not trying to prove it. I'm just saying what it is. Like that's all.
Right.
Like I'm just saying what is. It's like I was living when I was 6. I know because I was 6. That's all I
Mm-hmm.
can
Right.
tell you. I can't prove it. I just
Mm-hmm.
know that it happened. And it's like, how do I know we have a past life? I just know. Because
Mm-hmm.
if energy transfers, we had to have a past life. We have future. That's it. How do we know we die? We just know. Is there certain shit I don't need to know? Just like that's another
Mm-hmm.
thing I think we have. We have to know everything. Why? Why do I have
Right.
to know? Certain shit I don't need to know. I don't care to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck about knowing. I just know what I know, and I'm okay. That's it. Just like peace,
Okay.
dog. Like real shit. You learn the
Okay.
shit as you get older and wiser. You just like whatever the fuck it is. I don't care. Okay,
Hmm.
man. It goes back to boundaries. Like we have to learn. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. You don't, but you don't want to rock with me. Cool, cool. It is what it is, and be okay with that.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's yeah, man. That's really how it be, bro. People just be finding reasons, and you like, what?
Right,
And I think that level of acceptance really, that piece right there be killing people. That one is hard. That's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow
right.
because, and that also ties into religion and boundaries, right? Because within religion, one of the things about religion is like, if you don't accept what I accept,
Mm.
again, it goes back to something got to be wrong with one of us,
Oh,
and it got to be something wrong with you because what I believe is right.
right.
But it's like, well, wait a minute. You talk about believing in a God who's forgiving, who's loving, who's merciful, who's understanding, but you're not practicing any level of that in accepting me.
Right, 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 right.
Time out. Time out now. Your job is to become like a human version of that God, that being, that Christ, Jesus, or whoever.
Right,
And they practiced all the things
right,
that you yourself aren't practicing.
right. Mm. Mm.
And when you don't, it tells me more about who you are
Mm.
than it does about me.
Right, right.
That's how I look at it. I look at people. You know what I mean? Because I'll be like, you say that you're supposed to be accepting, honorable. I get that you don't necessarily have to like everybody. Cool, but like all of the things that you say you are within the context of a religion,
Right,
you don't even follow the religion.
right, right. And it is what's really sad is going back to what we're talking about. It's kind of like when you step away from it all, you see it. That's the weird part. Like
Mhm.
when you're in it, you can't see it. And I noticed this with myself.
Nope.
When I was 21, I couldn't see it because I was in it. So I was surrounded.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you gotta do this, and that. But now that I'm away from, I've been away from this for 10 years, and I see it more and more. Like my children are A and B students. There's no God taught in the household. There's no quote idea of God, and they
Mm-hmm.
just do. Like they just do. I'm not talking about by. I'm not talking about we help them. They do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I know because they do it. So it's
Yeah.
like, why would? What more help do they need? Like, do I need to push them? Like, no. So
Right.
what do they need a God for? Whatever you want to conceptualize. For what?
Mm-hmm.
They're figuring their life out for themselves. And that's what I don't think. I think religion does. It cripples people. I really do. I think it makes it's a psychological trick to make them feel like they can't do something outside of themselves. I really do. I think it makes them feel like, oh, if I don't do this thing, then this thing's gonna happen. And it was never,
Right.
like the guy said, the line was never there. If I
Mm-hmm.
don't, then this is gonna. It's like there was none there. That's what heaven and hell. That's what the whole conversation of heaven and hell is, right? If I don't do the
Mm-hmm.
thing, then this is going to happen. And it's like there was never heaven and hell to exist. Because if you didn't do it, you wouldn't be so oh, you wouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
so wanting to do. And it's like that's the
Yeah.
fear part that you can't let go. It's
Mm-hmm.
like until you
Yeah.
let go, you're gonna always be in this thing. I need to do this.
Yo, you know what's crazy, brother? You just said that. So, I heard somebody say, I think it was Dr. Kaba, but he was saying people got to learn to do the right thing because of the right thing, not because of a consequence.
Mm,
And I think he's hitting at something psychological. A lot of people, a lot of people are not operating with a good enough of a reason or with a reason that I'm going to do the right thing because it is the right thing.
right.
They're operating from a place of if I do X, I'm going to get X.
Mm,
If I do Y, I'm going to get Y. right? As opposed to understanding. I think the point I'm trying to make is people are operating with the end in mind as opposed to understanding the intention in mind.
Mm,
They have no intention, so they're just operating and waiting for a result.
right.
And it's not that's not the point of it. Life is not about the result. And I feel even though on some level I think like yeah, like the result is important, right? But intention when it comes to your morality, when it comes to life, that's even more important. The way you live, the mindset with which you take into life.
Right.
The reason why you want to the reason why you want to stand on what you stand on is more important than what you get out of it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I think religion serves the result oriented people,
Mm,
and spirituality serves the intention
yeah.
oriented people. So,
I think it it does more of a disservice than it does a service. I think if you have to be told what to do in order to live your life, that's already the first problem. That's the first problem with it and stuff. If I have to be told and then I have to do this for the rest of my life, that's another problem. I have to do this. Not it's an option. If I don't, then the outcome worst possible scenario will pop up and it's like, how do you know that? How do you prove that? If I don't
hmm
do the thing that this said or whatever, how do you prove that? And it's like that's how many people live their life. If
hmm
I don't do the thing, then oh my gosh, that's why so many people stay in bad relationships because whatever the family, God, whoever it is, told them, and it's like, but you're not even happy. You're not even enjoying this thing. I look at
at
relationship
all.
like I should enjoy this thing. This should feel like I'm on a plane ride and the turbulence hits and I'm able to communicate with the person next to me. That's how I should feel. That's how a
Facts.
relationship should feel. Not,
hmm
oh my gosh, and this if I gotta feel like that to be hell no, for what? For what?
hmm
Because that's crazy to me. And that's how most people live their life. That's how so many people
hmm
because so many people have been taught if you don't do no, I don't have to live this. I don't.
Right.
I'm not
hmm
living this life because you want me. No, 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 no. All these stipulations and that's the problem. That's so many people's. What I've realized is so many people's problems, dog. And so hopefully we build this YouTube channel and in the future and by
hmm
release, and that's what we gonna help people do because like that's what I want to do is help them. Create a call-in show or something, and you know, just show them like, dude, just because you believe something. This one thing I want to show. Just because you
hmm
believe something doesn't mean you have to hold on to it. That doesn't
hmm
mean anything. I don't gotta hold on to what my parents told me. They weren't even happy. I'm telling you from personal. My parents weren't even happy with the way their life is. And I lived in two
Right.
so so what I'm gonna live that way because they live that way? That's crazy to me. No. It's
Facts.
it's crazy.
Facts.
I don't wanna live
And some people will, bro. That's the thing that kill me. Some people really live that way because their parents did.
right. You're unhappy. Your parents told you. It's like for what? You don't even know how to function without their beliefs or what they told you or what they said. Or it's like, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm good, dog. So yeah, man. But I know you got to get to work
Facts.
tomorrow. So
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm over here. I started to yawn. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, it's starting to get late. But yeah, bro,
yeah, man.
John, bro, it's a good conversation as always, man. Like,
We gonna create our channel. We gonna create our channel once I get everything up. We gonna create our own channel. We gonna do this. Like we gonna have an hour,
gotcha.
30-minute conversation, bro. But we gotta do this, man.
Yeah.
We've been wanting to do this for a
Let me
while.
know what you need help with when you trying to build it. Like, because I got a YouTube, I got everything up. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all subscribe if you're listening and stuff. Um, Let me know what you need. You feel me? Anything that you need, supplies, whatever. If I could help, bro, just let me know.
All right, I'll give you the list, and then we go from there, man. Because I really want to talk about beliefs, and that's it.
All right, bro.
We're gonna
I'm
do
with
it,
that. I'm
dog.
with
Another
that.
one down, dog.
All right, y'all. Peace, bro.
All right, man. Appreciate it, bro.
All right, man. Peace.